talk about, for example, I have ministry talk with me. So how I handle it, there's a thing whereby when you've already evaluated your market and you know that I might not get anything out of it, in fact, people are already aware the room I'm in, so there's no need for me to go around. You just sit around. But I remember that I'm supposed to be faithful. I'm supposed to be doing my part in part of being faithful. So I got up and actually decided to go around despite knowing that I might not have any results. And luckily for me, I did manage to find results. And then the other way I practice my virtue of the week. So that recently told me that General recently said that it's ministry is about doing your part. Salvation is personal. You're supposed to do your part, and if you're doing your part correctly, then that's it. People's response. People have different responses, but you should not. What you are doing should not be based on people's responses. So when it comes to doing my duties this week, I didn't look at people's responses. I didn't slack off on my duties just because someone was slacking off, just because the people are slacking off. I made sure I did my part. I was faithful on my part and did what I was meant to do and how I was meant to do it. And that is how I practice my virtue of the week faithfully.
I don't know who was shooting you, but it's like they caught you, in the middle of selling. You had your stock, there was noise. Where were you?
Well, so yesterday we had to reach out.
Mm-hmm. You and who?
So we were doing a reach out with a few leaders of the ministry.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so mentioning them by name, there are lots. But well, it was great. We had progress.
I love that. Well, before I ask you any question, I just want to know what is faithfulness, Ma? What's faithfulness?
What is faithfulness?
Mm-hmm.
So I think I would describe it as from the point of how I practiced it.
Yeah.
So I took it to be, when you are faithful, if you are committed to something and you're actually doing your part in that thing that you have committed to, that's how I took faithfulness to being.
From your testimony, I heard you say something like faithfulness is about doing your part. In today's world, doing your part sounds like doing more work and doing the work. So why faithfulness? What's the point of actually getting, dirty, getting your hands dirty? Why can't you let other people do it? Why faithfulness?
Well, first, if you're going to commit to something,
mm-hmm.
then you should do it well. If you're going to commit to something, you should do it well, because there's no point of you committing to something you are not willing to do.
Mm-hmm.
There's no point of you, for example, they entrust you with something and you accept that responsibility and you don't do that responsibility.
Yeah.
So that is not being faithful. And I believe that if you are given a responsibility and you're not going to do it right, it's better you don't do it at all.
Why? I've heard, in this very place, I've heard people talking about how, there's always a reward. There's always a reward. There's always a reward. But when we look at things like faithfulness, I believe you saw those things and did you eat the money?
No.
Didn't eat the money. Just wait. You spend time, you spend energy, and perhaps you even gave away some of your dignity, asking people who are quite rude, why? What's the whole point? What's the essence? What's the reward?
Well, some rewards are not so obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Some rewards don't really come in material form.
Yeah.
That you're going to receive it in monetary form. You're going to receive money. You're going to receive an award or anything. No, some rewards are life skills.
Yes.
Some rewards are life skills. The fact that you are going around doing what you are doing, selling, it means that you're actually gaining a life skill that's going to help you more than the material reward you are expecting.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it's a work of the Lord.
I love that. Some rewards, they're not obvious. They're not in the moment. You're not going to receive the money there, and then you might not even receive money, but there's always a reward. I want to ask, how do I exercise this virtue that requires me to put myself out there, requires me to get out of my comfort zone, and requires me to do a lot of things when people are not watching? How do I get myself to be that disciplined? How do I get up from the bed and say, this must be done even when nobody's watching, even when I might not be held accountable? How do you do that? What kept you going? You could have just come to your finance director that was hard. No one bought. But how do I get from wanting to be faithful to actually practicing it?
Well, first you have to remember that it's something you committed to.
Yeah.
So if you are willing to commit to something, you should be willing to see it through. If I say, I'm going to do this, I should do that. And also, you should also remember that the reward is for you. It's you who is benefiting from what you are doing. It's not the next person. It's not for the other person. There's also the part that there's what you are learning. There's what you are becoming. There's who you are becoming because of what you are doing, because of how faithful you are becoming.
Yeah.
So you should remember that first of all, there's the reward you are receiving, there's the growth you are receiving, there's the becoming you are doing. There's something happening with you. It might not be as obvious as you might want to see it. And also, if you are going to commit to something, then you should do it right, because that's when the reward is real. If not, you are doing it for nothing at all.
You know, I love something that she said, because in all of her responses, she's saying there's a reward. Rewards come to you. They're not going to the person who's giving the reward. She's also talked about how you're becoming. It's not the other person who's becoming. So from what I'm getting from what you're saying, Ma, is a lot of these things are really not for the other person. When the man of God comes and he declares the virtue of the week, when these programs are running throughout the week, they're not for anybody. They're not for you to come and, share your testimony here. They're not for me to, just post on my status and say there's a virtue of this week. It's me who's actually gaining the benefit, an invaluable benefit, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I have one more question. What's the thin line between faithfulness and just being gullible? Because I think for a lot of people, they're going to say, these things that you're doing, you could really just be sharp about it. Why? I remember in one of our meetings, one of our leaders' meetings with our man of God, our leader, he said something. He said, you bringing the money, say you're selling stock, and then you bring the money to your finance director. Much as you've managed to give her the money, faithfulness goes beyond that. Faithfulness goes beyond somebody gave you money, you spent it, they didn't know, but you managed to pay them back. So where's the thin line? Because I think that's being sharp, isn't it? You spent the money, you still managed to get back at it. Where is the line between I'm being sharp and I'm actually being faithful in this? Is there a line? Is it compromise? Is it being sharp? What is it?
Well, I think there is a line between being sharp and actually being faithful. The problem with being sharp is that you don't really learn the skill you are meant to learn.
Yeah.
Take, for instance, if you are given that money and you do use it, and then maybe you just replace it, or you don't sell that stock at all, you just give the finance the money when you haven't sold anything at all. So the problem comes in when you're supposed to learn a skill.
Yeah.
You're supposed to learn a skill. You're supposed to learn accounting. You're supposed to learn going out there, marketing.
Yeah.
But if you're using shortcuts, if you are being smart, you are not going to learn that.
And I lose out on that.
And then you lose out on that.
I lose out on these lessons.
Yes.
I love that. I love a lot of the points that she said. It's a mouthful of, life and, life-changing things. It's amazing what you've said, Ma. She's talked about how the benefit is yours. She's talked about how in exercising these virtues, you're becoming something. Their characters, you never pick up faithfulness on the street, guys. You can't buy it. There's no amount of money that can buy faithfulness. It's not something you overnight develop. But these are virtues that, you inculcate into yourself. You practice it and you become more faithful by the day. I love that. Lastly, I would like you to just give me and everybody else something to share. Just give us an encouragement to actually practice these things, because a virtue is given. Nobody is holding me accountable for not practicing them. Give us something, Ma.
Well, we should remember that when a virtue is given, it's for you to practice the word.
Yeah.
It's for you to learn to practice the word. It's like, you know how in school they give you an exercise for you to practice what you learn on your own, so that you can see its practicality on your own, not when you're with your friends and you can copy from the next person. No, but it's on you. So if you're going to slack off on it, meaning you are missing out on the practicality of the word.
Yeah.
But the word is practical. The word is practical. It's a doing thing. You need to learn it. You need to do it. So the virtue of the week, I see it as a chance for us to practice what we are learning, not just to leave it in the books, but we're actually yes, it's an opportunity. It's like we're being called.
Yes.
We're being called that okay, now I have taught you this. Now go and practice.
She reminds
that's
me
how I
of
look
the
at
sermon.
it.
It's a call to growth. I love that, Ma. Okay, there you have it. Faithfulness was our virtue for this week. I'd love to know how you practiced yours. If you did, head to our Facebook page and type in the comment section of this live how you practiced the virtue of the week. Thank you so much.